So there's this conversation that's been going on about the correlation between the age of founders and the relationship to how successful their startups are.
Okay.
Okay. So you mentioned that you're 44. Um, how do you think that your very vast experience has helped you with your entrepreneurship journey?
Okay, so I would say I'm early in my entrepreneurial journey, right? And in the end, that will justify whether the path I'm taking is okay or not. Of course, usually, statistically, older people are more successful as startups because they have the wealth of experience to dodge things that don't work, and then they're also more less likely to do things that are very rash or get into trouble. But younger people also have the advantage of not having the burden of thinking about kids, marriage, family. They're able to sacrifice everything. So for me, I would say it's neither here nor there. And of course, when a grown up becomes successful, having a startup, there are no bells. Nobody's interested in the story because you know what? They're grown up. If you can't be successful at this, then what's why are you doing that? You're just taking precious oxygen from everybody's life.
Okay, interesting take. Okay, so let's talk about your startup, Lendsqr. Where did Lendsqr come from? How did you come about the idea of building Lendsqr?
Okay, so I guess maybe I'm lucky to have, because of my engineering background, there are foundational things you need to understand. It's like Newton's law of motion. The three laws governs almost all the things. We call it the classical physics or classical mechanics. So you need to know from first principle how things work. So if you took Nigeria and say, or if you look at the world and look at the countries where things work well, the average person there has money, access to credit to be able to do what they do. So if you're in the US today, for example, you could go to the best schools because the only thing you need to worry about is how to pass and get into good school. If you pass, if you are smart, even if you are just normal, there's always student loan to fund that. You don't need to worry. When you come out of school, getting a new car, a new job, a new house, a new appliances for your house, you can take credit. You know, do this thing. It's just like having a startup as well. We all know that, yeah, it's nice to bootstrap, but everybody knows most people cannot. And not all businesses can also be bootstrap. You need money coming from investors to help you grow. So those people abroad in all the countries that are developed really, really had access to credit for them to start their life. It's almost like an unfair advantage. Of course, not everybody you give money to will be successful, but if you give money to a lot of people, people will succeed. So it also meant that if people in the developing world should have access to credit, you'll probably succeed as well. Now, but unfortunately, ask yourself, if you have a billion people in Africa, why can't we rush and come and give them money? But the problem is that if you give anybody money in Africa, they won't pay you back. And it's the same thing abroad as well. If you give them money, they may not pay you back, but there are consequences. But in Africa, there are no consequences. There's no government to hold anybody accountable. So we thought, okay, yeah, what if there's a technology that will make people to be held accountable, have access to data, have access to technology, machine learning, fingerprinting stuff. But then these technologies are so expensive, it's almost not there. So in Nigeria today, we don't have electricity. Everybody knows if I have a solar panel and with in batteries, I could have 24/7 light, but it's expensive, so I don't have access to it. So in solving the credit problem, we figure out that look, what if we could make this very expensive technology available to every lender? Maybe that will give them the confidence to go out and lend. And that is where this thing came from. Like, let's not solve the problem at the surface. Solving it at the surface means I'm becoming another lender. If I were a lender, oh yeah, I will be a successful lender. I will be a bank or a digital lender. I will be like a carbon fair money. But I will just be one of them. I will not be solving the problem. I may be solving my business problem, but I'm not solving the Nigerian and African problem. And I was more interested in solving that, even though it looked like it's an impossible thing to do. So basically, that is what made us to start Lendsqr before we actually change it to Lendsqr.
Yeah.
Like we started as Lendsqr and then we started building. And I can tell you, the problem we faced were many. First and foremost, the business proposition wasn't clear, even though the vision was clear. Uh, Access to talent was difficult. We didn't have funding. We literally, I was doing it by the side. We literally built and shut down so many times I can't count it. But we just kept going. Like when I look at the number of iteration we had, The first acquisition in 2018, another one was early 2019. We scrapped it 2019 again, 2019 again, 2020 again. So we actually built this thing like 4 to 5 times.
Wow.
Yes.